QED. Like he's doing a proof, and then he's done. He says QED. It's just kind of funny. So anyway, next time you watch the movie, look for that. I thought it was pretty funny. But, all right, everyone. Is it really that painful? Come on. Angles this time. This will be A, B, C. This is angle 1, angle 2. And then over here, angle 3. So our given information we're going to use with this picture is that angle ABC is a right angle. Well, you didn't know it till I told you it. It could have been 91 degrees or something. Also, you are given that angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. And we're going to use that information and what we see in the picture to try and prove that the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 3 equals 90 degrees. All right, so see if you can follow the logic in your head before you begin on this one. Okay? Think about what I'm telling you at the beginning. This angle over here is a right angle. 2 is congruent to 3. If this is a right angle, angle 1 and angle 2, their measurements add up to what? 90. If these two add up to 90, and 2 and 3 are congruent, meaning they have the same measurement, doesn't it seem to reason that 1 and 3 should add up to 90 then too? Yes. Okay, that's the logic we're going to use on this one. Yeah, you may. Just be quick. All right, so we'll write in every proof. Yes, sir?
The given statements.
The given statements, right. Okay, so we're going to start with that again. All right, so number 1, angle ABC is a right angle, and angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. That is all given. Okay, so can we start from there then? Okay. So think about the given information. What would be a logical next statement that we could make about what we got going on here? Yeah?
Angle 1 and angle 2 equal 90 degrees.
That's right, but not for step 2. We have to go through one hoop first. Yeah?
That is angle 2 is congruent to 3, then angle 1 is congruent to 3.
Nope. Actually, we don't know that. We know we're trying to prove that 1 plus 3 is 90, but not that necessarily 1 is the same as 3. Because if these two add up to 90, like 2 could be 50 degrees and 1 would be 40. Then if 3 is the same as 2, it's 50. It's not the same as 1. Does that make sense? So we're not going to that. But I like the 1 plus 2 equals 90 idea, but we got to jump through one hoop before we can do that. Yeah?
Is it angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent?
Nope. We don't know that either. That is true, but actually we don't need to go that route just yet. Think simpler than any of the stuff you guys have been mentioning so far. It's actually something simpler than that. There's a statement that was made as one of the given statements that we haven't really dealt with before we can get to what you guys are saying yet. Yeah? We can put the square thingy in the picture. It's related. It's definitely related. Yes, Zach?
Is it that ABC equals 90 degrees?
Yes.
Yeah, I just said that.
Well, you didn't say it loud enough. So, anyway, yeah. Notice that nothing, and this might seem like a silly thing that we have to do, but technically, we haven't said anything about 90 degrees yet, right? Even though right angle means 90 degrees, we haven't made that jump in logic yet. So we have to say that. Measure of angle ABC equals 90 degrees. Got to put that out there. Now, how do we know that? Savannah? Definition of a right angle. Yeah. Okay, so, we know the measure of angle ABC is 90 degrees. I'm going to start the next step for you and see if you can finish it for me. Measure of angle ABC also equals what? Somebody who's not spoken yet. Look in the picture. You've already spoken. Okay, you haven't, right? There you go. Okay, so the measure of angle ABC is equal to the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2. Okay, and think back in your memory banks here. What tells us that you can add two angles that are adjacent and get the bigger one? There's a certain postulate. Yes? There you go, angle addition postulate. That's what we got to use here for this one. Okay, now, can you take steps 2 and 3 and put them together? It's the step that you guys wanted to say earlier. How can I put those together and say something new, which is where we wanted to go? Somebody who's not spoken yet. Somebody who's not spoken yet. Yes, sir. Nope, not yet. Think simpler than that. Yeah. Right. Do you guys see how that works now? If the measure of angle ABC is 90, and the measure of angle ABC is 1 plus 2, then 90 equals measure of 1 plus measure of 2. We're putting those all together now. Okay. What did I just do there? Yeah? I turned measure of angle ABC into 90 degrees. So what did I actually do? Substitution. Right, that's a substitution. Technically, if you had said transitive property, I'd accept that too. Because you kind of sort of did that too, didn't you? You took two things that were equal to the same thing and made them equal to each other. That's the transitive property. So you could have said that too. All right. So we're up to the point where we've got measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 2 is 90 degrees. It's like, good Lord, we've taken 4 steps just to get to that? Yep. Now what? What can I say next? Yeah?
Angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. That means measurement of angle 1 plus measurement of angle 3.
Yep, you're wanting to jump ahead again. So your logic is sound, but you're wanting to jump ahead a little bit here.
Attention class representatives and King and Queen candidates. Today during fifth hour will be the halftime rehearsal. Please check into your fifth hour and then walk over to the football field for practice. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to help you here just a little bit. So, before we can start doing what Savannah just said, which I'm guessing most of you guys were probably thinking that was what's coming next, there's a technicality we have to deal with here. And students always hate this because it seems obvious and why do I have to write that down? But technically, what I set up here as part of your givens was angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. Down here, I have an equation that I'm working with that involves the measures of angles, not the angles themselves being equal and that sort of thing. So I have to change the congruent statement into an equals. Okay? These are two technically different things, though one does lead to the other. So if I'm going to work in an equation, I have to change that congruent statement into an equals statement with measurements. Okay? And all you need to write for the justification for this is a definition of congruent. The definition of congruent angles says that if the angles are congruent, then their measurements are equal. So that's what I did. I took the fact that they were congruent and said, okay, now I know their measurements are equal. And if I have things that are equal to one another, then I am allowed to make substitutions with those things. I can replace one with the other in any equation that involves one of those two things. So if you look at the equation right above it, do you see where now I can make a substitution?
Yes.
Okay. Has to look exactly the same. Measure of angle 2 happens to be in that equation. Measure of angle 2 happens to be right here. So I can replace measure of angle 2 with measure of angle 3, right? Which is what I really want to do here. So step number 6, taking my equation from step 4, and it's measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 3. And again, what did I just do? Substitution. Okay. And remember back to yesterday when we talked about those stupid different, what were they? Were they postulates? Yeah. The stupid postulates, the ones about or stupid properties, the ones that were the symmetric and reflexive that were dumb. Well, look up here. Look at where I'm at. Look at what I'm trying to prove. I have a symmetric property technically.
Oh my God.
Then it's done. Then it's done. All right? I know. You will, if you leave off that step and you're doing like a proof, let's say you're on a test and this proof is worth 10 points and you did this much right here and you didn't do that, I would take off a half a point or something out of 10. So you'd have like a 95% on the proof. It's not worth a ton as far as the grand scheme, but technically if you want it to be a complete, totally correct proof, it has to be there. So I ran out of time, so I'm going to come over here and just finish up. So here's my step 7. So step 7 would be measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 3 equals 90, symmetric property, and then I can do my QED to be done. Okay, but what I am most concerned with is not this stuff at the end. It's not the little technicality stuff. I mean, yeah, if you want a complete proof done 100% correctly all the way through, that stuff needs to be there, no doubt. But what I am most concerned about is all this good stuff in the middle here. Okay? Can I see in your proof that you were able to kind of logically go and connect the dots and go from the given information to what you were trying to prove? Can you show me a path that makes sense logically? Okay, that sort of thing. That's what's important about this stuff, is getting you guys to think logically and to see how one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another, and boom, I got it. That's deductive reasoning. That's what we're doing with these proofs. Okay? So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a chance here to practice some. There's going to be a fill in the blank proof you're going to start with, and I'm actually going to do that one with you. And then you have 2 more in your journal you're going to do on your own. One is a fill in the blank, and one is all the way. And if those look good, then you guys can start your homework on this stuff. Okay?